Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Avilo and NYK on King Sejong Station, the latter edition. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Zerg player representing Storm Gaming. It is NYK, or possibly New York Knicks. I don't know, I'm an NBA fan, that's what I see. And in the top left side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is Avilo. Currently teamless, but he does have the Doge wearing what looks like a Russian hat or a toque of some kind. Made using MS Paint, I don't know. Avilo has been cast on my channel fairly recently. Avilo is well known for his rage. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to live up to the reputation of Idra, but we will have to wait and see about that. Alright, so what looks like a one-rax expand. I need to get up my list of Reaper names just in case this is a Reaper expand. It probably is, but we have been fooled in the past. Come on, no, I don't want to search, just show me my notes. Show them to me. There we go, there's our list. Alright, so last time we did that one, this one. Okay, it looks like we are going for Conan the Reaper. If that's what this is. I made the mistake of saying the name before we saw it was a Reaper or not. But based on the mineral count, come on Avilo, don't ruin this for me. Don't you do it. This has to be Conan the Reaper or people are going to be very upset at you, not me, you. And come on, man. Yes, Reaper. Okay, it is a Reaper. Avilo going Reaper expand. It is Conan the Reaper. He is the lesser known cousin of Conan the Barbarian, who was the ancestor to, I mean, when I say cousin, I mean super distant, like 18th removed cousin, 17 generations down. But yes, he is related to Conan the Barbarian, who is so super famous as being portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. But this guy, unfortunately, is Conan the Reaper. That's just his name, is Conan. He was named after his ancestor, but again, Reapers do not have very long lives. Conan the Barbarian lived a long time and made a lot of his enemies just cry out in pain and frustration, and the lamentations of their women were heavy on his ears. But this is Conan the Reaper. He has a wife and a kid. He was actually picked up for shoplifting at a local Kmart, which, hey, Kmart still exists in the future. Can you believe it? I can't believe it exists in 2016. Anyway, got busted by the Popo and was sent to the Dominion Rehabilitation Center, which just means they slap a Reaper suit on you, give you some training under penalty of death, and then send you in to kill some of the ugly, ridiculous swarm. 4 Lings coming out. KD charge knocking those drones back. Don't extend off creep, Nick. Don't you do it. And still trying to chase this Reaper away. No kills. No kills on Conan, but has greatly weakened a lot of those drones and a lot of those Lings. But guess what? Queen here. Look out, Conan. No. Oh, 1 hit point. Oh, 1 hit point remaining. His ancestor would, yes, his ancestor would be so happy to see that. He lives with 1 hit point and patrolling back and forth. He's a little bit too afraid to go in there now because Queens really hit hard, especially against Reapers. They're good against things like Reapers and Hellions and Banshees, so Queens are kind of the early anti-harass unit for Zerg, which is why we see Zergs often open up like 4, 5, 6 Queens. Ling's trying to come up here and delay this base. Is there anything to stop this from happening? No. Nope, there are some Marines coming up, but they're not here yet. That mule dies. SCV coming down here to assist. A few Marines coming out through. Yes, where were they? I don't know where they were, but they're going to kill these Lings. No problemo. They all get cleaned up. They didn't have speed quite yet. I'm not sure if NYK should have waited, but I guess killing a Reaper was not bad. NSCV and a Reaper are pretty good. Why do Reapers not count on units lost up here? Maybe because they expire anyway. Seems plausible. Did that Reaper die? Did Conan the Reaper? He did die. Dang it, Conan. We're going to back up a little bit. Just a little bit. I do like to know how my Reapers die. Well, I'm going to guess the Queens took him down, based on the fact that the Queens are walking away. Yep, Reaper. Oh, Conan. Oh, Conan. Why would you do that? Maybe he decided life as a Reaper was not worth living. Maybe he felt like he could never live up to the majesty of his cousin Arnold Schwarzenegger. But as it stands, he walked right past 2 Reapers, got smacked in the face several times, and died without really doing any scouting at all either, which is always a concern. I think this is a scan. That wasn't a Reaper thing, right? Either way, whatever. You saw a spawning pool, you saw an extractor, nothing too surprising there. But that is a Roach Warren. That tells your Terran something, and hasn't seen that either. So Conan the Reaper, I award you no points. I don't think you got any kills. Nope, all those 4 Lings were killed up on this side of things by the Marines, or the ones who are given awesome guns. instead of the little piddly ones that Reapers have. Reapers used to have an awesome grenade that did extra damage against armored stuff and like extra damage against buildings. But then Mass Reaper play and Wings of Liberty turned into a huge thing, and every ZVT was 5x Reaper, and Zergs were just pulling their hair out trying to stop this thing. And Blizzard said, yeah, we're not going to make Reapers that good, and took that away, and now the Reaper is what it is today. So it has utility, it's good for scouting, it's good for killing some stuff, good for keeping the Zerg player on their toes, and if they're not good, you can lose quite a few things to just a single Reaper, because they're fast. They are fast, and Slowlings can't catch them unless they're on creep, so be smart with them, and they're very effective. But anyway, some Lings knocking down those rocks. Double Evolution Chamber coming up here for Nick. APM for these players, about 160 or so for Avilo, 270 for our red Zerg player representing Psy Storm Gaming. Double Engineering Bay used for the wall with a supply depot in between those two. Upgrades, get those upgrades going, Avilo. Come on, you can do this thing. You have 2 of them. 2 engineering bays. Yes, there we go. +1 infantry weapons on the way. Get that second one. Get the armor on the way. Now a drop here. Widowmine drop. Oh! Did he get... No, we got a Marine. Got a Marine. So there's 1 Widowmine and a ton of Marines inside those medevacs. Banelings already out. Roaches. Are there any roaches yet? Yes, 7. Oh, there they are. 7 roaches mixed in here too. These Marines don't do very well against roaches at this level of the game when the upgrades are where they are against this number. Stimming forward. Oh boy. That's not a good look. Lings trying to do stuff. Backing away from the Widowmine. Widowmine is safety for Avilo right now. And just getting acid saliva on you is just never good. Widowmine shot, killing 2 of the Lings. Not super efficient. That's not what Avilo was hoping for. Nick is happy with that loss. Another base coming up. Inject. Inject, Nick. You can do this thing. Come on, Queen. Get in there and inject. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, that's fine. Lair popping up 2. And Marines. No real reinforcements here. Just the same group really massacring these Lings very well. Actually, good stutter step on display here from Avilo. His APM is up in the 250s now, which is much, much better. He's not much of a spammer in the early game as it would assume, but when it comes down to it, he can get over 200, 250, which is really where you want to be at the GM level, which is where these players are. Creep spread continuing to push on out. This Widowmine has 2 kills and is just hanging out. Didn't pull back with the rest of the Terran army. The medevac is fairly low on energy, but not really enough for you to be concerned, especially considering there's another one just right there. And more roaches coming up here. Missile attacks, level 1. Ground carapace, level 1 on the way as well for Nick. Overlord dies. Good pick off there by Avilo. Lings trying to do their best, but this is a lot of dead Lings thus far. If we take a look, 26 Lings have died and 3 Marines. So, I mean, pretty cost-effective these Marines have been to this point. Avilo, but again, hasn't really done a huge amount of damage. Losing Lings, not a big deal. To Nick, he doesn't want to lose drones. He doesn't want to lose bases. That is what you really need to be doing as Terran. Boosting on out, we have another medevac. Get scouted perfectly by this Overlord. It might be able to stop this base from coming up just by pure accident. Avilo did not know it was there. Sneaking around, trying to kill some creep tumors. There's the scan. There's the burn down. 1, 2, and 3 tumors dead. Very effective. Very efficient use of that scan. The Marines want to stop here. No. They're going to fly. Maybe. Okay, they're going to land on the high ground. Can they actually hit that from there? I don't think they can. They can hit the mineral line, but not the hatchery itself. Oh, Ravager's so good. Corrosive Bile. They do take down the medevac now. The Marines are stranded. They don't do super well against Ravagers, but they're doing some good target firing. And they do take out one of the Ravagers, but the rest of them do super well against the Marines, especially with the +1/+1 that has been completed by those Ravagers to this point. +1 is there. And yep, there's the +1 armor just now kicking in for Avilo. He is working on +2 attack. He's getting some tanks. That's good. I like to see tanks against Zerg. Infestation Pit on the way. More Ravagers on the way. And Glial Reconstitution coming up for Nick. So fairly heavily investing in this Roach Ravager play, which we've seen work to a certain extent against Terran. But when it gets past that 12, 13, 14, 15-minute mark, it gets less and less effective against highly upgraded Marines and Marauders. I really want to see some higher tech, which is good for this Infestation Pit. Amazing concave getting set up here. Yeah, Widowmine shot does not get a shot off whatsoever. Just clears it out. Nick, 166 to 115 total supply in complete control right now. What can Avilo do? One thing you can do is get a lot of tanks. Tanks do super well against roaches. It's a very roach-heavy composition. Marauders would be good too, although I don't see any of those in production. Continuing to go with those Marines, which just, again, especially with consistent upgrades from Nick, are not going to be good throughout this game. Hive coming up for Nick, doing a fantastic job keeping that tech path going. A small drop sneaking over this way. No static defense. No Queen, no Roaches at this area, but busting on in are these Roaches, trying to get a nice concave, pulling back to the safety of the single tank. Another tank on the high ground. Siege it up. No, does not siege it up. Tries to sneak on down. These Marines are getting destroyed. All the Marines here are dead. This is not a planetary fortress. Nick is going to town on these bases. Tanks are setting up shop, though. They stop the attack there, forcing a liftoff on that orbital command. A lot of dead SCVs to this point. Pulling back home is Avilo. Did get cleaned up by these roaches here. The drop didn't do super well for him. Roach is trying to go up this ramp. I don't know if this is a great idea, and then no. He decides to pull back out. There are Marauders. There are tanks here on the high ground. Tanks doing extra damage to the roaches as they are armored units, but not against Ravagers. Like, I don't know how you go from armored and then morph into something that's not armored. I guess maybe you drop the armor shells? I don't know. Nick did not do the right thing with the pathogen glands and the infestors. What you need to do is start pathogen glands, wait for it to be about 50-60% complete, and then start your infestors. Then they will pop out with the plus 25 energy, which is so important if you want to use it for fungals, which is generally what you want to do anyway. Ultra Cavern coming on up adrenal glands on the way to increase the attack speed of those lings. I'm not sure how many lings we have on the field. There are 4, but apparently Nick is planning on using a lot more of those in the future. There's that Ultralisk Cavern. And again, for Avilo, what do we need to do against Ultras? A lot of tanks are good. Liberators are good. Ghosts are good. I think I saw a Ghost Academy somewhere. Did I see a Ghost Academy? Structures? No, I think I saw that sensor tower and I was confused. Alright, Avilo, Ghost Academy is pretty much the way to go right here. Use that steady targeting against the Ultras. You'll be just fine. If you don't, you will find this a very difficult thing indeed. Ursadat Calf. Hey, Ursadat Calf. Where's your mom and dad? Seems like you're lost. Lost to me. I hope someone takes care of you. High ground sniping of these roaches. Pa pa pa. Trying to get shots off. Can't quite do it. The reaction time a little bit slow from Nick, but not too terrible. Pushing up with most of his army. Roaches, Ravagers, +1/+1 is here. Chitinous plating on the way. Adrenal glands on the way. Doesn't seem to be going for +2/+2, which is strange. I usually see that from Zerg players who are going the Roach Ravager play. But small drop, trying to sneak on into this main base. The Roach is kind of getting stuck by this wall. Go up the ramp, Roaches, boosting right on in. Single Queen, it's not enough. Meanwhile, good concave here. And yes, fungal growth. The fungal bile combination killing a lot of these units. The units on the ground not doing super well. Tanks good in the back lines, but they're getting closer and closer to the front. Meanwhile, everything here is getting absolutely destroyed. Roach is trying to pop out and deal with it. Another attack of Marines and Marauders on this area. That base is going to get lost. I'm not sure if Nick can win this fight. Good picking up the tank, putting it on the high ground so he can get some shots off without getting shot itself. The tank splash is devastating right now for Nick. Meanwhile, back home, he's losing this hatch. He's going to lose this base too. No, the Roaches are enough to finally push that away. The hatch explodes. A lot of these drones are dead. The Roaches and Ravagers decide instead not to attack up that ramp where the tanks are, but moves a little bit outside. Going to try to deal with these units. Corrosive Biles landing on SCVs. So SCV harassment with Corrosive Bile, forcing a pickup and a liftoff, but that base is gone, and Nick's not getting that thing back. 20 SCVs killed, 22 drones killed. It's 48 to 46 workers at this point. Avilo is still alive. The problem is, if Ultras start coming out, and there they are, there are the Ultras. I think he saw them. He saw them with the medevacs. He's going to be in trouble. He is double pumping Marauders, getting +3 attack, which is super duper useful. But I just feel like Ghosts are the way to go. Thor's not bad. Thors do a lot of work, a lot of DPS. It's just, I don't know. I know it's enough. Oh, Infestor's leading the charge, getting a fungal off. Ultra's cleaning up everything else. No micro whatsoever here from Avilo, forcing a cancel on that base. Another attack down here. This is where his attention was. Can he kill this other hatch too? I feel like he can do it. And he does. He takes down his second hatch, forcing a cancel on that extract to the army. Is forced to retreat all the way back home to try to deal with this small drop that Avilo has been playing with. Avilo very bravely sending him some units to the front line. He doesn't know where these Ultras are. I guess he does now. But, man, if you're not going to deal with drops using a Spire, you got to do something. It's just bringing this whole army back is so difficult. So difficult. Because what this does is give Avilo time. Go ahead and rebuild. Replant that third base. Replant the fourth base. While you're busy chasing medevacs around. Overseer's getting killed. Overextending just a little bit here. More and more units coming on in. Avilo has the upper hand, but not anymore. Corrosive Bile not catching that medevac. Not catching it at all. Some more Infestors wiggling their way to this line. Do not be in front, Infestors. Be in back. That's where casters are supposed to be. But we see it a lot. We see Infestors at the front lines. We see Ghosts at the front lines. We see Templar at the front lines. And they are squishy and they die very quickly here. Avilo trying to kill this hatchery for the second time, but it's not there. Again, medevac's picking up, boosting out. Fungal catches it. Catches the fungal. Can he chain fungal this thing to death? And the Marines and Marauders trying to... They do kill the hatch. No cancel. No cancel at all. Another fungal catching everything here. The medevacs will likely die. No, they do manage to escape. They get on the way home. Marines killing an extractor here, killing an extractor there. It's 182 to 169 total supply. Avilo is in the lead. More roaches coming up. And that is actually a fusion core. So Liberators, again, a good answer for Ultras. Getting a lot of Liberators, getting Marauders, getting tanks. A couple of Thors couldn't really hurt. Avilo's going to try to do this thing without ghosts. I feel like he would have started his academy by now if that was something he was planning on doing, but perhaps he is not. Medevacs sneaking all the way back home to the rest of their Medevac buddies, and Medevac count is 14. That's kind of what happens when you don't make any Corruptors or Mutas in a ZVT, is that Medevac count gets high, and that's a lot of healing available to those Marines and Marauders with +3. Soon to be +3 on that infantry armor, which is dead scary. Income tab, 50 to 56 workers. Pretty low econ, a lot of dead workers in this game, but Nick has a bit of a lead. However, this base is not complete, and this base is already rocking, so that income is definitely going to favor the Terran player, as it is on that mineral count, despite the Harvester discrepancy favoring the Zerg player. He's going to come up this ramp. Nick's coming up the ramp, leading with the Ultras. No, not leading with the Ultras. One Ultra does get taken down. Just barely. The Marauders can reach him. He dies at the bottom of the ramp. Nick says, I'm not going to go up that ramp. That ramp is scary. Another attempt to drop over here with Avilo. Do not kill that Ursadat calf. He's cute. Look how cute and little he is. No, he's going to just drop down here and kill all these SCVs. Avilo looking good. Actually, a lot of these drones going to die. Reaction time for Nick is not amazing. He's really focusing down here. Corrosive Vials are trying to land, and they do get one of the Liberators. Might have liked it over here on that Medevac clump, but is this piece going to die again? The Stims coming up, the +3 attack, really burning through the units. Another big attack up here, dancing back and forth. Liberator shots, Marauder shots, greatly weakening these Ultras. And you know what? Avilo might do this thing without going Ghosts at all. Just going for it now. Does he have any Fungals available? The Infestor's going to the front. No, Fungal does come down. Fungal Bile, fairly effective, but this Liberator is up to 2 kills already, and that's it. The Rage Quit from Nick. Nick is defeated. Avilo is victorious, and Nick has left the game. Losing this base for the 3rd time might have been the final straw. Couldn't really get this one established either. Apparently had it in production, but when he quit there, it canceled the construction of that base. Marines moving on in. No real units back here to defend either. And yeah, losing this battle. Losing it. Liberator count a little bit too high. Thor with 3 kills there as well. A lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, and just a lot of dead stuff for Nick. So 81 Roaches, 5 Ultras, 20 Ravagers, and 6 Infestors were killed, compared to 1 Reaper, 4 Liberators, 2 Tanks, 27 Marauders, and 121 Marines. Let's take a look at, let's see if I can do this one. Resources lost is about 12,000 for the Terran player and about 20,000 for Nick. So yeah, Terran's cost efficient, but not that cost efficient if you're going to win. Can't really expect to have that level of a discrepancy in those two numbers. More drops coming in, and again, I can't help but say this is what happens when a Zerg player refuses to go Spire against a dropping Terran. It's just really hard to win. That Medevac count gets high. There are drops everywhere, and huge healing available back home as well in the big attacks you do manage to launch. So get that Spire is my recommendation. But that's it from me, and this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.